A number of people have asked me what programming language should they start off with if they want to become software developers. Now in this video, I'm going to do one better. I'm going to give you an entire roadmap that you can follow to become a pretty senior and well-earning developer. Now, where do you start off with? My advice to anybody that's starting off is start off with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Not only because it's easy to learn, but because the career scope for those are massive. There's a lot of jobs available in those. Now, these are collectively known as front-end technologies. What's the meaning of front-end? Front-end are those parts of the app that the user actually sees and interacts with. So whether it's a website or a mobile app, the part that the user interacts with is known as the front end. Now, to give you an analogy of what a front end is, consider a food outlet like a KFC. Now, the part where you walk into the store and you place your order, that's the front end of the KFC. It's a beautiful front end, it's user-friendly, there's menus, there's a friendly person there at the till who's taking your orders, you place your order, and that's how you interact with the front end. Now, when it comes to front-end development careers, the most in-demand programming language in the world is JavaScript, hands down. Go and research this. And the earning potential for software developers in the front-end space is about 600,000 per annum, which is awesome. That's 50,000 rands a month. That's average in South Africa. And if you decide to go freelance in South Africa, you could earn anything from 350 to 400 rands an hour as a freelance front-end developer. Now, once you've mastered JavaScript, I would strongly recommend that you master a JavaScript library like React. Now, React is, as I said, a library, and libraries enable developers to speed up their code development because they give you pre-written sections of code that you don't have to go and rewrite. So in other words, you're not reinventing the wheel. And most companies don't only require people that do JavaScript. They want people that do JavaScript as well as a framework like React. So now you are at a point in your career where you can choose to remain in the front-end development space, or if you want to further your studies, you can focus on back-end development. Now, what is back-end development? Back-end development is developing the parts of the app, of the application or the website where the heavy lifting happens, where the users don't see, the parts that the users don't see. And coming back to our KFC analogy, it's, you guessed it, the kitchen. So when you place your order at the front end of the KFC, that request is now sent to the back end. In the back end, all the processing is done. They go to the kitchen, the freezer, they bring the ingredients, they cook everything, they package it, and they push it to the counter, and then that is handed to you. So that is what happens in the software development space. The user interacts with the front end, and then that interaction goes to the back end where the heavy lifting happens and the correct information is sent back to the user. Now, what kind of languages do you need to be a back-end developer? Now, one thing great about JavaScript is that it is also a back-end programming language, although it's not that common, but there are back-end applications that are written with JavaScript. But the king of the hill by far is Java. Even though people might say, well, Java is a dying language, etc., the king of the hill remains Java on the back-end side. And the reason for that is simple. It's because some of the biggest companies in the world, like Microsoft, Google, Meta, they use Java in some of the most critical back-end systems. And that applies to pretty much most of the big companies, including the banks, etc. So Java is not going away anytime soon. But other great languages are C#, PHP, these are great backend languages. My personal choice, and I'm biased because I'm a certified software developer myself, is Java, right? So Java is definitely my favorite, but it's also backed up by what I told you, that there is big demand, but also the salaries. You, as on average in South Africa, a back-end Java developer earns about 900,000 per annum, which is an incredible amount of money. Now remember, that is the average, it's not even the top end. Now, once you learn Java, that's not enough. Remember that Java goes hand in hand with a framework, and one of the most popular Java frameworks in the world is Spring Boot. Spring Boot is what will make you into a pro developer. That's what's in demand all over the world. So Java with Spring Boot makes you a backend developer. So there you have it. That's your roadmap for becoming a professional developer. And it's an easy to follow roadmap. Start with the front end technologies, move to the back end technologies. That's the method we use at IT Varsity when we are training people to become developers. Now, I know there's lots of other ways to do it, and I'm not disparaging those, but this is just the way that I would recommend. And I suggest you get started immediately.